What do you think? Where do you think he could be?
Somewhere with not with us. And that's the important thing, is that he is not with us and we need to bring him back to us. So I can't say where he could be, where he might be, like, because honestly, we don't know. At this point, we don't know. All we can do is keep searching and doing, everything we've been doing, and we're gonna continue to do it.
All right, I'm gonna go first on this one. We don't see any tears, any sign, not even a little bitty sign of any grief at all or feeling bad about what's happened. This is all fake. And what we're seeing in here, again, in the glabella, that's all squished together. We're not seeing anything up here where you normally see the grief muscle. The grief muscle isn't down in here, it's up in here. It's not just because our brow does this and you see those wrinkles. It comes down. Greg, do it. I can't do it. There it is. Nailed it. That's what a grief muscle looks like. And we're not seeing that on her at all. No tears, not even any fake tears. We're not seeing anything like that. Her illustrators. I'm always talking about illustrators. Those are the things people use. That's how your brain emphasizes specific words or phrases, like I did just then, specific words or phrases. What we're hearing here are her illustrators not locking up. They're not in sync with what she's saying. And she's doing this little slap thing with her hand when she makes a point.
I can't say where he could be, where he might be, like.
They should happen like this, but they happen like this. They happen out of sync with what she's saying.
That he is not with us and we need to bring him back to us.
That's a big red flag. We saw a lot of that with O.J. Simpson. We see stress mouth when she starts talking to her. Every time she answers something, we see that mouth get real tight and she takes a deep breath. These are almost fear cues as you're looking at them. Taking that deep breath, getting ready. Her limbic system's firing off because she's trying to protect herself, trying to think something up. I don't think she's ready for any of this. And as she goes through these, she tries to shut down the interview and the conversation by completing everything with, yeah, we're going to find him. They're going to, like, this is it. We're going to find him.
He is not with us and we need to bring him back to us. So, and we're going to continue to do it.
But then they keep asking her questions. The best thing about this clip is the camera's like right here as she's talking to her, that looks like. So there's no getting away. And she's pinned in. The car door is open. She's pinned in between the door and the car, so she can't go anywhere. Brilliant. And then the reporter, once she asks a question, shuts up. It's exactly what we'd want to see and what we would all do in that situation. When she says, we can't see where he is. No, you can't see where he is because you're going to go to prison if you do, because we know where he is at this point. Then she goes into this thing where she starts doing her shoulder shrugs. She does, in 8 seconds, she does 22 shoulder shrugs.
Because honestly, we don't know. At this point, we don't know. All we can do is keep searching.
Never seen anything like that before in my life, outside of someone, and I'm not trying to be funny, having a seizure. That's exactly what it looks like. The first time I saw this, I thought, oh, here we go. She starts turtling over and over and over and over throughout this. This is great stuff, great for study. I'm sure we'll all use this when we're training from now on. And her answers make no sense whatsoever. I'll leave that to Chase, because you always cover those, Chase. Now, when she says, where do you think he could be? That's the first time we see her micro expression. And we see it in the left side of her face. Her mouth goes up just a little bit there before she starts answering. And as she goes into stress mouth, or some people call it lip grip, you see her lips disappear. That thing starts even before she does that. And then she looks like she's smiling at that point. We could say duper's delight or duping delight. That might be what it is, but I don't think she's conscious enough to be thinking it's funny or she's duping him from that point. I think subconsciously she knows, and maybe that's why it's happening, because that's for sure a micro expression that shows that. Then again, her hand slaps. Those hand slapping things are out of sync. We're going to hear him do those as well. And that's part of a behavior virus, where you'll hang out with somebody for a while, somebody you really like, or somebody in your family, or one of your best friends, and they'll do little odd things, and you'll start doing those too. The first time I met Bootsy Collins was in Memphis, and we got to hang out for a while. And everything he said was like, oh yeah, man, we'll do this or that. For the next 3 months, no matter, I was be in meetings and these big high level meetings. I go, oh yeah, man. I was until somebody said, what are you doing, man? You sound like something's wrong with you. Everything is, oh, yeah, man. And I was copying him. I was trying to be like him. I didn't even realize it. Yeah. So it's just, we'll copy those. And that's what he's done. That's what you'll see her husband or her boyfriend doing, because he's doing the very same thing. Chase, what do you got?
Absolutely agree with you. This is one of the weirdest responses I've seen in a very long time. And I agree on the contempt facial expression. We see that micro expression here, her left lip going back. And she's using an external separation gesture where she's saying, where do you think they could be? And she's showing somewhere with, she's just kind of pushing that away.
What do you think? Where do you think he could be?
Somewhere with...
I thought that was really interesting that she's separating herself from where that person is.
What do you think? Where do you think he could be?
Somewhere with...
And she cuts herself off quite a bit. There's a long pause to think. So it's called question answer latency.
What do you think? Where do you think he could be?
Somewhere with...
So she has a lot of time there, which is indicative of deception. And she says, not with us. There's immediate lip compression.
Not with us.
Or lip grip, whatever you want to call it. So the lips squeeze together there. And this is a completely nonsense answer. There's no emotion. There's mismatched baton gestures or illustrators. It's a non-answer statement. The mouth closes immediately after all of her statements, which indicates deception. There's these bouncing shrugs that you talked about, Scott. I had that number. I had the same number you did.
Okay.
I had to cross it off.
That's why I went first, because I knew you were going to nail it. I'm so tired of marking stuff off you get like that. I had to go first on that one. Sorry, man. Because that's why I said, I believe it chased some stuff. So sorry about that, dude. I had to
That was great. It was great. I think this is also turtling from fear and an expenditure, just burning off excess adrenaline that's pumping through her body. And she's unable to say a single group of words with any substance whatsoever. She's just filling time, make a statement, and then talk around a bunch of stuff, and people might think that I have an IQ above room temperature. And I think that's what's going on here. Focused on the story, focused on her story. And I want you to look at one thing that we've never mentioned before in these videos when it comes to missing people. My daughter's missing, my kids are missing. A deliberate introduction of ambiguity or difficulty into the search. We don't know where they could be. We don't know where they are. I mean, this is a massive area.
I can't say where he could be, where he might be, like, because honestly, we don't know. At this point, we don't know. All we can do is keep searching and doing,
So it's when the person who is supposedly missing a child is deliberately inserting or injecting some kind of difficulty or vague information into the search. No idea where they could be. It could be 10 miles from here. They could have been on a plane and be 1,000 miles away. We have no idea.
I can't say where he could be, where he might be, like, because honestly, we don't know. At this point, we don't know. All we can do is keep searching and doing,
So this lack of optimism like that, I think, is something you'll see in lots and lots of people who are later arrested and convicted of the murder of that missing person. Mark.
Yeah, I agree that adding in that idea of hopelessness around searching, we saw it, I can't remember with who, but he was saying, I told the parents not to bother flying over because, it's just, you can't find anything around here. It's like immediately putting in the idea that it is fruitless to even try and search. It's tough for me to steel man this one. I don't think it's got anything really going for it. So I've only got, many of the negatives that people have already said. It's concern, not grief. These coming in here, that's concern, not grief. And even then, the concern is static. Look how long it holds for. Now, you might go, well, the longer it holds, possibly the better the emotion is. No, emotions are really uncontrollable. They're transient. They kind of flow in, they flow out. Somebody who's having a real emotion, they don't seem to be in control of it, or you'll see their body language reacting to it early on or too late, or it's just uncontrollable. That's why a strong emotion, most human beings won't be able to hold a strong emotion for more than 10 minutes. That's why if you're angry with somebody, like, go away for 10 minutes, come back after 10 minutes. It's like, I can't remember what I was angry about. It's too much impact on the body to have an emotion for a long period of time. Emotions are designed to get something done right now. So I'm not seeing a strong, real emotion in her. Now, to Scott's idea there of, what's the link between the two? I think there are some links between them, but there's some radical differences between them. And I think you're hearing it in the background right now. I think if you listen to the background, you've got your man there who is chatting away there loud, fast, like we heard in his rapid delivery of what they've been doing, the jobs that they've been doing.
What do you think? Where do you think he could be?
Somewhere with not with us. And that's the important thing, is that he is not with us and we need to bring him back to us. So I can't say where he could be, where he might be, because honestly.
Now contrast that to how comparatively relaxed this is. So often when you're reading body language, don't just look at the person, look at the other people around the person, the other rhythms going on, the elements around them. Like, how are they reacting with everything else that's going on around them? Listen to that stuff happening in the background and go, that's pretty different from what we've got in the foreground with her. And in fact, we'll see their difference in one of the videos coming up as well, just as everybody's been saying there. Tight-lipped, tight shoulders, tight breath. Everything's really kind of quite bound in, rather than wanting to release the information of like, here's how you help. We're trying to find this person. Everything is in on the person at the moment. Really short on the description there of the jobs to be done. Now, compared to the male there, which I'm still worried about how rapid that the release of that information was. Well, at least he's got some information on jobs to be done around this, whereas she doesn't seem to have any information around jobs to be done. And I think that, the icing is on the cake there around what Chase was saying. I said at the start again of like, she's even going, probably no point in looking, probably no hope for this one. So not a good look so far. Greg, you got any saving graces on this one?
Yeah, saving, no, but lots of stuff. So we talked earlier about these models. This is a stancer. A stancer takes high ground. They take a place where they say, look, we're suffering. We've done this. We've done that. As God is my witness. That's the way they approach lying. They take a strategy. She's a stancer right out of the gate. I watched this first time with no sound. And I'll tell you what my notes were before I even talk about what she says. She does a who knows, both shoulders up, slight smile, down left, internal conversation, back up, one eyebrow up for skepticism or contempt, and then she does what I call the wash my hands move. I'm just going to wash my hands of this, blow it off. And then she goes to lip compression. All that I saw without any sound, and then I saw the concern of the brow, and then there's an explosive kind of breath. Interesting. And then she goes to some kind of feigned helplessness. Look, I've done what I can. All that stuff with all that face. Without sound, you can see all that. Now let's talk about what she says. She reminded me of somebody who said family isn't family without family, with that kind of vague answer she had. Well, where's the child? Well, somewhere not with us. That's what matters.
What do you think? Where do you think he could be?
Somewhere with not with us. And that's the important thing, is that he is not with us and we need to bring him back to us.
She also has a mixed message, which is really interesting. You would think if I'm going to find the baby, if I'm going to find this kid, is my message, I wouldn't say somewhere not with us and that's all that matters. There's some mixed messaging in here from her. When I first watched this one, I first thought, okay, she's quirky, we got to forgive, you can look past that. And then the real grasper for me was push-pull words. Anytime I hear somebody using these words, doesn't mean they're lying, it means I want to pay really close attention. Honestly, we don't know at this point. We don't know.
Because honestly, we don't know.
Okay. Well, at what point do you think you will know? Why don't you know at this point? Did you know yesterday? Did you know an hour ago? I go and probe and poke on those questions because they allow people to dance. What they're doing is kind of being a matador and dodging the bull with those kinds of words. And if you go after them and you penetrate that kind of cloak they're putting up, you'll get to a different place. So I see a mess here. And then in the end is one of my favorites I've ever seen. She does kind of a little dance thing where her head moves around and she waves both shoulders. And what I have written down at the note is, that's what I got. That's the end of her statement. It's over. And that was enough for me to go, I'd call Scott when I first saw this and said, this girl's going to jail. This is before she was arrested. Guys, this is bleeding. None of us have any saving graces for this one. That's all I got.
No.
What do you think? Where do you think he could be?
Somewhere with not with us. And that's the important thing, is that he is not with us and we need to bring him back to us. So I can't say where he could be, where he might be, because honestly, we don't know. At this point, we don't know. All we can do is keep searching and doing, everything we've been doing, and we're going to continue to do it.
If you like this video, get the full body language breakdown and analysis on our main channel by clicking this video right here.